In the Galactic Federation, safety is the highest law. Every starship is equipped with triple-redundant AI failsafes. Every engine is sealed behind force fields. Every repair follows a strict 5,000-page manual of protocols designed to ensure a 99.9% survival rate. To the galaxy, engineering is a precise science. It is elegant. It is safe. But to a human, engineering is an extreme sport. There is a phrase in the human lexicon that terrifies alien translators. It is not a declaration of war. It is not a scream of hate. It is 3 simple words, usually spoken right before a human does something that defies physics, logic, and common sense. Those words are, "Hold my beer." Today on Apex Sci-Fi, we are heading into the debris belt of the Zeta Sector to witness a story of mechanical failure and human improvisation. A story about why aliens treat human mechanics like wizards or madmen. If you believe that duct tape fixes everything, even in a vacuum, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And please, keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle, because safety protocols have just been disabled. Chapter 1. The Perfect Storm. The Starlight Cruiser was a masterpiece of Valari engineering. The Valari are a tall, slender species. They value purity, cleanliness, and order. Their ships look like floating art galleries, white, sterile, and silent. Captain Zarth stood on the bridge, monitoring the navigation through the Zeta asteroid belt. The shields were holding. The path was calculated to the millimeter by the NAV computer. "Smooth sailing," Zarth whispered. And then, the universe laughed. A micrometeorite, smaller than a marble, bypassed the shield frequency. It was a 1 in a billion chance. It struck the main cooling coupling of the hyperdrive. Boom! The ship lurched violently. The beautiful white lights of the bridge turned to a screaming emergency crimson. "Status!" Captain Zarth shrieked. "Cooling leak detected," the AI announced calmly. "Hyperdrive core temperature rising. Critical failure imminent. Explosion predicted in 12 minutes." The bridge dissolved into panic. Valari officers were running diagnostics, typing furiously. "The manual says we must evacuate." Officer Lyra cried. "We can't," Zarth replied. "We are in an asteroid field. The escape pods will be shredded. We need to fix the core." "Impossible," Lyra sobbed. "The manual says a core repair requires a dry dock facility and a Class 4 robotics team." "We are dead, Captain." They were logical beings. They did the math. The math said they were dead. But the Starlight had one crew member who didn't care about math. They had hired a human chief engineer as part of an interspecies diversity program. His name was Dave. Chapter 2. The Monkey with a Wrench. The doors to the bridge slid open. Dave walked in. He was wearing an oil-stained orange jumpsuit that looked like a biohazard to the pristine Valari crew. He had welding goggles resting on his forehead and he was chewing on a synthetic gum stick. "Why is everyone screaming?" Dave asked, scratching his stubble. "Dave!" Captain Zarth ran to him. "The cooling coupling is shattered. The core is overheating. We have 10 minutes before the ship vaporizes." Dave looked at the holographic display. He squinted. "Oh, that thing." "Yeah, that's a problem." "A problem?" Zarth panicked. "It is a catastrophe. The computer says repair is impossible." Dave walked over to the console. He tapped the screen with a greasy finger. "Computer's wrong. It assumes we have the factory parts. We don't." "But—" Dave paused, looking thoughtful. "I think I have some spare piping from the toilet filtration system and a roll of heavy-duty adhesive tape in my locker." The crew stared at him in silence. "The toilet filtration system?" Lyra asked, horrified. "Pipes are pipes," Dave shrugged. "And the tape is industrial grade. It holds the universe together." "Dave," the captain said, trembling, "the core is leaking plasma. If you go in there, the radiation will cook you. The heat will melt your suit." Dave checked his watch. "We got 8 minutes." "Yeah, I can do it. But I'm gonna need someone to override the safety lockout." "Override the safety?" The AI voice interjected. That is a violation of Galactic Protocol 774. Yeah, well, Protocol 774 is about to explode, Dave grunted. Shut it off. Chapter 3. Percussive Maintenance. They went down to the engine room. It was chaos. Purple steam hissed from the cracked pipes. The heat was unbearable for the Valari, who stayed behind the blast doors. Dave walked right in. He wasn't wearing a high-tech exosuit. He put on a pair of thick leather gloves and pulled his welding goggles down over his eyes. Okay, Dave muttered to himself over the comms. Let's see what we got. The coupling was twisted metal. There was no way to unscrew it. Captain, Dave radioed. The bolt is stripped. I can't remove the broken part. Then we are doomed, Zarth cried. There is no tool precise enough to. Clang. A loud metallic sound echoed through the ship. What was that? Zarth asked. Clang, clang. Dave, what are you doing? Percussive maintenance, Dave grunted. I'm hitting it with a hammer until it loosens up. The Valari crew watched the monitor in horror. This primitive ape was beating their multi-billion credit hyperdrive engine with a heavy iron stick. It was barbaric. It was insanity. Crunch. Got it, Dave announced. Broken part is off. By the stars. Lyra whispered. He didn't calculate the torque. He just hit it. Okay, slapping the toilet pipe on now, Dave said. Hand me the tape. He began wrapping the silver tape around the glowing, vibrating engine core. To the aliens, this was like watching someone try to fix a nuclear reactor with bubblegum. Seal is holding, Dave said. But the pressure valve is stuck on the outside. The heat isn't venting. I need to open the external exhaust port. The external port? Zarth froze. That is on the outside of the hull. We are in an asteroid field. You can't go out there. Dave looked at the countdown. 2 minutes. He looked at the captain through the glass. He held up a can of soda he had in his pocket. Captain, Dave said with a serious face. Hold my beer. Chapter 4. The Void Walker. The phrase, hold my beer, was untranslatable, but the intent was clear. Dave put on an EVA helmet. He didn't have time to tether himself properly. He grabbed a magnetic boot attachment and cycled the airlock. The silence of space was immediate. Around him, jagged rocks the size of houses tumbled through the void. The starlight was drifting dangerously close to them. Dave, the captain's voice crackled in his ear. Heart rate is elevating. Are you panicked? Nah, Dave grunted, crawling along the hull like a spider. Just cardio. Hate cardio. A rock the size of a basketball slammed into the hull just 2 meters from his head. The vibration nearly shook him loose. Close one, Dave laughed. He laughed. He reached the manual exhaust port. It was frozen shut. Computer, open the valve, Dave commanded. Negative, the AI replied. Mechanism seized. Fine. Doing it the human way. Dave braced his legs against the hull. He grabbed the valve wheel with both hands. He screamed, a primal roar of exertion that echoed in his own helmet. The muscles in his back strained. The veins in his neck popped. The aliens watched the biometric readings. His adrenaline levels were lethal. His blood pressure was critical. He was pushing his body beyond biological limits. Screech. The metal gave way. The valve spun open. A massive jet of superheated plasma vented out into space, missing Dave by inches. Inside the ship, the alarms stopped. Core temperature dropping, the AI announced. Catastrophe averted. Dave slumped against the hull, floating in the zero gravity. Hey Cap, he wheezed. Did you keep my drink cold? When Dave returned to the airlock, he didn't receive a reprimand for violating 400 safety protocols. He was greeted with silence. The Valari crew looked at him with wide, terrified eyes. They didn't see a mechanic anymore. They saw a chaos demon. A being that walked into the void, beat metal with a hammer, and bent the laws of physics with nothing but duct tape and spite. Captain Zarth handed Dave his drink back. Commander Dave, Zarth said, bowing low. Your species is insane. You are reckless. You are dangerous. Dave took a sip.
Yeah.
But we're good at fixing stuff. From that day on, the Galactic Safety Manual had a new addendum. Rule 1. Follow all safety protocols. Rule 2. Unless you have a human. If you have a human, give them space, give them tape, and for the love of the stars, hold their beer. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. If you want to survive the void, make sure you have a human engineer on your crew. Smash that like button if you respect the duct tape. Comment below, what's the craziest fix you've ever done? Subscribe for more stories from the edge of the universe. See you next time. And stay safe, or don't. It's more fun that way. End of recording.